What is going on, everybody? I'm gonna add this to the list of 100 videos that I'm working on at once. So we are in the middle of the warehouse sale, where actually it's Tuesday. It's the break in between the 2 weeks. We're all set up here. And my plan was to buy a couple of storage units today, but I've got too much stuff to do at home, construction type stuff, that I just don't have time to empty them out. But there's one unit that I'm still bidding on that I don't think will be too bad to empty out. I put a bid on this unit about a week and a half ago. It was at like 300 bucks. I put $1,000 max, and it was only just now that I was outbid with 7.5 minutes to go. It's a camper. I know nothing about it. Bounder RV, battery charger, and extension cord. The fact that it's on a battery maintainer means it probably runs, but those are the only two pictures. I know nothing else about it. I do know I contacted the storage facility and I can get this titled in my name. So I can sell it with the title. But what are the odds there are keys in it? What are the odds it's unlocked? And what are the odds it starts up? Now, I'm not an RV person. It doesn't look like a new one. The new ones are like, $300,000. It looks like it's, in my rough guess, 1990s maybe. But I'd imagine if it runs and is in good, reasonably decent shape, I should be able to get 10 grand for it. So I'm going to take a gamble. I don't know how high I'm willing to go. Like I said, it's at $1,010. There's a 9% buyer's premium. And then I'm just going to rent the unit and leave it there for now because, we got a warehouse sale. I don't have time to mess with it. Unless it happens to have the keys in it and it starts right up and I can drive it here, I'm just going to rent the unit. That's the plan, at least. So anyways, we'll find out. I did ask the storage facility if they know anything about it at all. They said they know nothing. I asked, are there keys in it? Does it run? They don't know anything. They haven't been able to get a hold of the tenant. So we'll see how it goes. Now, we do have the NFL draft coming up, and the plan is we're going to move out of our house during the draft so we can rent it out on Airbnb. So if I do get this, I will probably hang on to it for a little while just so we have a place to crash rather than setting up cots here in the warehouse. It feels a little more like home. So we'll probably do that, and it'll just be parked in the back, and we'll stay in there during the draft, and then we'll sell it. But my plan is probably to just, auction it off. All right, we are winning it again at 1,020. Well, I want it for 1,220. So let's go pay for it so we can go take a look. So there are a couple of wild cards here. First off, am I even going to be able to get in the door of this thing, or is that going to be locked? If it's locked with the deadbolt, maybe I can pick it. I'm not good at picking locks. I should have probably grabbed my lock picking set. I'm really not good at it all. I'm only good with I think they call them brute force attacks, where you're just raking the lock. Actually picking the pins, I can't do that. But I can always call a locksmith. But there's another cost if I have to do that. Then there's the next issue. Are the keys going to be in there? Without the keys, I'm going to have to figure out how to replace the ignition. I don't work on cars. I don't know how to do that. There might be a YouTube video out there, but it's, it's a camper, so it's not like a common brand, like getting a Ford Escort or a Toyota Camry or something like that. I'm not going to be able to find a video that breaks down exactly how to replace that exact one. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that exact ignition. Best case scenario, the door is unlocked, the keys are in the ignition. And then the last thing is, does it start? The fact that it's on a battery maintainer really gives me hope that it probably runs just fine. But, when they stored it there, did they leave the keys in it? Or did they take the keys home and lock it up just to be safe? So there's, a lot of big questions there. If I need to get it towed out of there, that's going to be more costs. Because you can't just use a regular tow truck. I would assume for something that big, you have to deal with one of the big tow trucks that move like semi-trucks. That might be $1,000 to tow the thing out. So there are a lot of questions. I'm heading to the bank now to get money, and we're going to go pay for it and find out some of the answers to these questions. All right, I'm at their office to pay for it. All paid up. Now I have to go across town to the unit to actually, look at it. I told them that I may need to rent it if there are no keys. So that's kind of the plan. With the sale going on right now, I don't have time to mess with it. I have basically an hour. If I can go through and just start up, drive it out, then yeah, no problem. If it has keys but it doesn't start, I may just look at having it towed out because I don't necessarily need to be there for it. It's not gonna take that long. But if there are no keys or the doors are locked, we need to be able to get in and get it in neutral to be able to tow it. So that's gonna be a whole process. So we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants here. All right, we are here. This panel is removed. I don't see it though, so they might just not have that. This is gonna be a problem. This reservoir is gonna have to get replaced, but that seems like a very easy fix. If I can find this part, it might not even, I don't even think it's attached in there. You just take the lid off, put a new one on, put that on, we're good to go. We got a battery tender. I mean, this thing's probably 30, 40 bucks at least. Taking a walk down here. Looks like they have shore power on right now. Yeah, some dents and dings, but it looks to be in pretty good shape. This might be a roof leak. I don't know what's down here, but it's like not under it. No clue what's in any of these, if anything. Oh, this is equipment. I think some of these are storage. That doesn't stay shut. So we'll see what we find in those. I think, you know, with those not closing, I don't know if I want to drive it out of here. I might just sell it right out of here. All right, moment of truth. Unlocked. All right, looks like we got some stuff in here. Smells like someone's been smoking in here. It's dark in here. Let's open these shades. This might be the key. Oh, is that the ignition keys? No. Where is the ignition? Oh, right here, no key. So we'll dig around here. I'm gonna open these shades to get some light in so we can see a little bit better. So it looks like we got some water that was coming in on the front. So not in the best shape. Another good reason to keep it in here. I see the mirror right there. It was missing from the side. Look at this thing. We got a TV here. I can sell that. Whoa, that's creepy. Anything of note up here? You know, if I find the keys, ooh, I've got a magic card or Yu-Gi-Oh card. If I find the keys, I can at least figure out if she starts. With that coolant reservoir broken, I don't want to like run it for long, but I can at least find out if it'll start. You know, it's fine to run it for a few minutes. These are probably just parts. Solar lights. Oh, we got a key holder here. Oh, I don't know. This doesn't look. Nope. And then this is just like a house key. I doubt this. Interesting. It turns without the key. You might not need the key. Just some random stuff. Driver's license, Visa card. What else? We got some more parts up here. In here, we've got so much stuff in here. Portable DVD player. What's this? Ooh. A Walmart Zebra printer. That's probably about 50 to 100 bucks on eBay. So there's gonna be a pretty good amount of just stuff in here. Another portable DVD player. What's this? And this is, there's so much stuff in here. No idea what this is. There's so much stuff in here. I might make my money back just selling the stuff. Motherboard for something. A couple of motherboards. So we've already got this. Got a little pocket knife for White House Scotch. Set that aside. A scale. I wonder what they were weighing with that. I'm thinking this thing probably doesn't run though, just because there's so many parts thrown around here and that reservoir was broken. Let's keep going down the line here. We got, feels like it's in here, a little single burner stove. Nothing in there. What is that? A little root beer, ice cream float set, fuses. We got a little space heater, vacuum cleaner. Going in there just kind of gives me the creeps. Some hats, shoes, nothing special there. We got some tools and stuff here. I thought I heard something, but it's just a construction site nearby. This looks like it's probably just all clothes. We'll dig through it a little more later. Pork with juices. Has a couch. This thing is not in amazing condition. There's stuff down here. I don't think there's anything special in here. Bunch of boxes here with just random stuff. Some drill sets. What else we got? More little tool sets. So a whole bunch of tools, but nothing really super valuable. What about up here? Food. Sharpening stone. The fact that the ignition turns, that's empty. The fact that the ignition turns without a key means you probably won't need a key to start it. Got some hats up here. This would be a good place to hide a key. Doesn't look like it. More signs of water. Food. More food. We've got some old photos here. And just stuff. I see a video game. Got a game in here. Just so much random stuff in here. Phones. A whole bunch of cell phones. Some of them with broken screens, some with good screens. Halloween stuff. Man, there's just so much random stuff in here. Kitchen stuff here. What I think I'm gonna do I dare open this? It's pretty clean. what I think I'm gonna do, I'll get, ew. Oof. Oh man, that stinks. I will get the title, because it's gonna be easier to sell with the title regardless. And then I will charge up the battery and see if I can jump it. This might be some sort of backup camera. It's very washed out here, but there's a screen here. I'll take some stuff of value out, like the TV and stuff that I can sell separately. But most everything else, I'll probably just leave in here and just sell it as one whole thing. In here, let's see if I can get some windows are open. All right, hold on. All right, so in here we've got some clothes. Mostly just clothes. The mirror's missing on this one. Doesn't appear to be anything special there. Do not use. We got a Lambeau Field picture. Old keyboard, not mechanical. Then we got the shower here, which is full of stuff. And then the bedroom here, just a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, we got another TV down here, suitcases, and who knows what else. So I was planning on maybe staying in here during the draft, but I am not going to. This is a little gross. It is in very rough shape, but I think I got I'll get my $1,200 worth. I'm not gonna tow it out. I'm just gonna rent the unit for a month, and we'll have the goal to have this thing sold within a month. We'll sell it right out of the unit here with the title. I would like to find out if it starts though. So the storage unit has power. I just plugged this in. I don't know if this will jump the battery though, or if it will just charge it like a slow charge. Let's go in and see if it starts up. It's got 76,000 miles. Nothing. So yeah, I think I'll leave this plugged in, and then I'll just rent the unit, come back after the sale is over, and pull out anything of value that I want to sell separately, and then sell the camper. Yeah, definitely signs of water. This is gonna be interesting, but rather than towing it out, I'll just let the buyer tow it out. Obviously it cost me some money to get it titled in my name, but that's gonna really jump the sell price because someone can actually then retitle it and use it and everything. Whereas if I just sold it as is, then it's scrap or parts. That's it. It's not in the nicest of shape. I am going to pull the VIN off of it. That way I've got a license plate number. That way if the tenant comes, breaks into the unit and steals it, which I don't know how they would. I don't think this thing will start up. But if they did, I can report it stolen. But I think that's the plan for now. Looks like, based on this, it's a 1992 Fleetwood, maybe? Coach configuration? No clue. Has an awning. I did get the VIN off of here. Says that's a percent charged. So, I don't know. I might have to come out here tomorrow or the next day just to see if it starts up. But I'm not holding my breath. This is a bad sign. But like I said, this is a very easy repair. I don't know if I'm gonna make money on this. I honestly have no clue. I still think it was a worthwhile gamble, but if it doesn't run and you can see the condition inside, I mean, it might sell for $500, especially considering someone will probably need to tow it out of here. We're gonna try and sell it as quickly as possible though. That way, since I'm renting the unit for a month, the buyer will have the opportunity to, work on it here for, maybe a week or two before they have to have it out. That's kind of the plan here. Glass is in nice shape. I feel like this is still a worthwhile buy at $1,200. So this is about $150 right here. That'll pay for 10% of this thing. I did notice something playing out these buttons. We have light. I don't know if that makes a difference. I don't even know what this light does, but still nothing here. I don't know if turning that will make a difference. It does go into neutral, so towing it won't be so bad. Apply brake to shift from park. Well, I disagree. So, no clue here. What is this? It doesn't stay in either position. I have no idea. Air clippers. Fuses and stuff. We got a charger for something. Yeah, time will tell if this was a worthwhile investment. Yeah, this is... I really don't know what else to say. I feel like I should do okay on it, though. I think. I don't know. What do you guys think? Obviously, by the time you see this video, it will all be sold, and I'll be able to tell you at the end of this video what I made off of it all. But right now, if you're watching, was this a good purchase? It was, $1,300, $1,400, something like that with the buyer's fee. I'll probably pay another $200 to rent the unit, and so ultimately say $1,500, $1,600. I have no idea. This is $65 on eBay, so between this and that printer, that's $200. As I'm driving out, I saw someone in their storage and there were a couple of red boxes in there, so I stopped to chat with him. He's like, "Oh, are you the guy that has all the indoor units?" Yeah, that's me. How do I get out of here? I think this way. So I asked him about the DVDs. He sold all the DVDs already for about what I was getting for them. But he's just picking up the outdoor units. I'm guessing he has permission from one of the retailers or something. But he's selling the DVDs, and he's making a CNC machine with the parts because he just cannot sell the machines. I had no problem selling my machines, but they were indoor units, so they're in a lot nicer condition and not as common to find. All right, let's see if we can get this thing registered. Never mind, the line is too long. I've only got half an hour, so I will have to do it next week after the sale's over. All right, so this RV is starting to become a headache. I went to the DMV today. The sale ended yesterday to get it registered, and they said that I have to mail it in. And so I looked a little more closely on the form, and it says to mail it in. Before going through all that, though, I didn't want to. There's a spot on the form where you're supposed to put the registered owner's name and what state it's titled in. And I wasn't sure, it was left blank because the storage facility, they don't know the registered owner. They know who had the storage unit, but they don't know necessarily if that's the registered owner of the vehicle. So I contacted there was a phone number for vehicle research or something like that for the DMV. So I called them and asked them, does this need to be filled in if it's not known? They said, yes, it does need to be filled in. There's an alternative where I can apply for a bonded title, where there's a bond placed on it for 5 years. And there's a whole process for that. But the minimum bond is $2,500. And of course I would get that back after 5 years, but it's not worth that to me to do that. So I figured if I can get the registered owner's name, I would be able to, go through and get a title the regular way. So I got the name of the person on the storage unit, so I started with that. I looked up, there's a title search where you put in the VIN number and the registered owner's name with the DMV, and I don't know if it will give you, confirm it or not, but anyways, so I did the title search with the name on the storage unit. It says the VIN is accurate or something like that, but the name doesn't match. Well, I also found a driver's license and a credit card in the vehicle that had different names from what was the name on the unit. So I looked it up with both of those, still nothing. All right. So I just searched look up vehicle by VIN, and I found a website called Ben Verified. So I paid the $1 to sign up for that. I remember years ago I was able to look up somebody's name based off of their license plate, and it cost $1. I don't know. This was probably 15 years ago. I don't know if what the website is, if it still exists, but I figured I'd try one of those. And so I paid the $1, and it gave me nothing. But it did say that it was potentially reported stolen, which is obviously concerning. So I went to the police station with the picture, the photocopy of the VIN, and I wrote the license plate down on it because I kept that information, and basically said, hey, I got this in a storage unit. I just want to make sure it's not reported stolen before I, go on the whole titling process. And they told me that, they asked me the location of the storage unit. I told them, and they said you have to go to the Brown County Sheriff's Department. Because the storage unit is is not in the jurisdiction of this police department. But they said there may be a hit on it, which means it was probably reported stolen. I called the storage facility, gave them a heads up. They said they have no idea what the protocol is and need to talk to their district manager. Hopefully, because obviously if it is stolen, the police are going to take it. So hopefully the storage facility will refund me in that case. I would still be on the hook for the rental fee. But now on this website, it did say it was reported stolen in November, which kind of coincides with, approximately, it's usually 4 to 6 months is when a tenant gets locked out to when the unit goes up for auction. And so it kind of fits with that. So it's possible the storage facility locked them out of their unit, so they reported it stolen. It could be that simple. We will find out when I get to the police station, and I'll let you know, or the sheriff's department, and I'll let you know what happens. You're getting a lot of talking head here, because I can't film in a police station. Most police stations have, signage posted, no photography or videography inside. I would love to be able to film the interaction, but obviously I can't do that. If I have to meet the police at the storage facility, though, that'll be a little different. I'll be able to film that. Well, the RV is in fact stolen. I'm meeting with the investigator at the facility tomorrow. Today's his day off, I guess. Apparently it was stolen some time ago, he said. I didn't ask when, but the registered owner is in jail. He had it stored on his dad's property, and one day it just went missing. And apparently the theory is one of his buddies stole it. Oh, here's a fun little tidbit. I posted this on a storage unit buyers group, and so many people made Breaking Bad references. The officer that I spoke to said that they believe he said, well, we believe the RV was being used for. Have you ever seen Breaking Bad? There were no signs of drug activity in the unit. There were cigarette butts in there. Obviously, that's not a sign of it, but that's the closest thing that was in there. So I think someone probably was living in it, and I think there's a chance they were living in it in the storage facility. Possibly. Who knows? But it's kind of funny that everybody made Breaking Bad jokes, and then the officer said the same thing. So we've got some updates on the camper, the RV. It was reported stolen in January, which is well after when the unit was in there. It sounds like, from what the detective told me, the person who owns it is incarcerated. His father is power of attorney for him. His father's the one who reported it stolen. The detective said, well, it sounds like the dad saw it was gone, asked him where it was, and he didn't want to get in trouble. So he said, I don't know. I'm waiting for the officer to find out, A, they already took it off the stolen list, so it's no longer marked as a stolen vehicle. I'm waiting to find out, A, if the if the vehicle is going to be claimed, you know, since it was theirs, it was stolen, they have a right to come pick it up. And B, if they decide not to, which the officer thinks they're probably not going to, that what happens then? Does it just become mine? Does it have to be towed away and impounded? You know, what is the process there? But he did give me the name and date of birth of the registered owner. That way I can finish filling out that form and get it registered to me. And then I know what state it's registered in because it has Wisconsin tags on it. So that helps substantially. We get registered, we get a title. Assuming I get to keep it, I'll try and jumpstart it, find out if it runs, and we'll run it through the auction. Well, I don't even know when I last talked to you guys, but it's been a ride with this RV. I'm not entirely sure what all I've told you. I'm pretty sure I told you that the storage facility was going to reimburse me for the unit. If I haven't already told you that, the storage facility is going to reimburse me for the unit. I don't know why I'm walking that way. Played phone tag. Well, not even phone tag. I was the only participant in this phone tag with the police officer, with the detective. Last week we finally figured out what's going to happen. On Monday, we are meeting with the victim, technically the victim's father, who has the power of attorney, the one who reported it stolen, at the storage unit so he can pick it up. And the officer's going to give me a call back to let me know what time, but the plan is Monday. Well, today's Wednesday. He did not call me back, and I called and left several voicemails for him. The storage facility called me and said, hey, we haven't heard from the sheriff's department yet. So at this point, I'm getting annoyed. And this morning, I left a very passive-aggressive, annoyed voicemail for the detective. Like, are we gonna do this? We need to get the ball rolling here. We got to get rid of this thing. The storage facility, they've already moved me out of the unit, so I'm not even paying for the unit right now. That unit is just sitting there, and I don't want the store. I'm sure they're getting annoyed because it's $300 a month that they would be able to get if they could rent it out. And I don't want them to get annoyed at me and then want to start charging me for it. So let's get the ball rolling on this. Apparently, the victim is interested in selling it to me. I think I may have mentioned that. I'm not going to buy it. Having seen it, I mean, I guess if he starts it up and I see it runs, I might give him like $500 for it. But having seen the condition, I don't want to buy it. But I'll happily sell it for him. So I'm going to bring an auction contract up there and basically have him drive it to the warehouse, park it in the back, and we'll sell it in the next auction. But with him as a consigner rather than me owning it as, you know, the person who bought it. Anyway, so that's kind of the thought process. Otherwise, he's taking it home. You know, if he tells me $500 and I see the thing running, then it might be another story. But I don't think he's gonna. I honestly don't know. What the detective told me is he said he does not want it back on his property. So he may be a motivated seller. But I'm probably not going to take advantage of that. I'm just going to say, hey, we're an auction company. We do things on consignment. Let us sell it for you. We'll get you a check. It'll probably be in a couple of weeks it'll be sold. But anyways, hopefully, all this long drawn out talking here, hopefully this is all finalized and done tomorrow. I haven't told Christiana about any of this. She has no idea that I'm dealing with the sheriff's department, that I own an RV or any of this, because I tell her about everything every day. And then the videos are probably no fun for her because it's all spoilers. So this way she can see it for the first time with you guys. And I have had trouble keeping this from her. I've been wanting to talk about it, to vent and complain, to share excitement. But anyways, I think I will still, if it's all done tomorrow, wait. Assuming he has a sell it, wait until it's sold to finish this video. Just so I can say on the video what it sold for, you know, what I would have made had it not been all of this hassle. But anyways, fingers crossed for tomorrow. Today is the day, hopefully. Heading to the storage unit to meet with the detective and the victim and get this all closed out.
He said that he wanted to get his personal items out of it. I said, I don't know if those are your personal items anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, So I don't know, I guess, how you want to do that. That'd be something civil that would have to be figured out, I guess. I mean, personally, if it is something that Robert is willing to sell or help you sell or something like that, I would tell the guy, yeah, you can come here and take, if there's nothing of value for you guys,
Yeah,
yeah, you can come and take everything out of here, you know, and clean it out essentially for us.
yeah.
You know, and then number one, you don't have to find a place to throw everything. And number two, he'll take all of his stuff out of here. So the story is that he bought it from a guy. So that's going to be on my end. That'll be the investigation on my end, figuring out who took it, first of all. And then he said that he purchased it for $500 from some guy.
Okay.
So that's my portion of it, but yeah, depending on what you guys want to do with selling it or whatever, I'm good with whatever you want to do.
Well, we're happy to sell it. It needs to be brought to our facility though, because LockSafe wants this out of here.
Yeah, I talked with the lady from LockSafe, and I said I'd get it out of here as soon as possible. It doesn't seem as if anything works, like lights and stuff, so it's probably not plugged in, or the batteries are dead.
I'm guessing the batteries are dead. The ignition turns without a key, and nothing came on or anything. So
This is more than I want to handle with.
I don't blame you.
I'm 78 going on 79.
And this thing is in a really rough shape, and water leaks in the roof, and
Well, I mean, if you, like I said, if we can get a hold of the guy that's whose stuff this is, and he can just come and clean it out for you, I mean,
That'd be fine with me.
yeah, that would, I think, be the best. And I can wait on whatever I have to do. That there's no rush on that. As far as figuring out, who stole it and
Yeah.
who received the stolen property and if they knew it was stolen and all this stuff. So the original conversation with him, he did not know it was stolen. He said he paid $500. People lie to us all the time, so
Yeah.
there's a good chance that he wasn't truthful, but that doesn't mean
well,
anything
when I
for
told you the
guys.
name of the person of the unit, you were already looking at him. So.
Yeah, he was the original suspect
That Scott or
from the front. Lee.
Lee?
He was right off the bat. I saw him driving it in like November. Wasn't listed as stolen in November,
Yeah.
but I saw him driving it in November. So, and I don't know what is what, right? I don't know what would be or could be Andrew's, what is or could be Lee's, or if there's anybody else that, you know.
It looks like a bunch of junk. Like
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Just a bunch
There's some
of.
things that, but generally speaking, I don't have much confidence.
Looks just like a bunch of clothes, really, right?
yeah, clothes. There's a bunch of stuff on the bed, and
All right. So where we go from here? I don't want to stand in here.
Okay. I'd be getting it to wherever it needs to go. If that's Titletown auction, or if that's the house, or what that is.
It's not going to my house.
Okay.
It's not going to Andy's house. My son.
I wouldn't open that microwave if I were you. There's someone's leftovers in there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah. So I guess the options from here are we got to figure out a way to get it out of here. Yeah, and I don't
want
know.
to. I'd prefer to have nothing to do with it though. Nothing.
So I don't know that, I mean, getting it out of here, obviously, we'll have to figure that out today. Whether that's towing or whether that's,
We've got space at our warehouse, but we can't take the liability of driving it.
right,
So it would have to be towed.
okay.
If someone doesn't want to drive it, that is.
Right, or if it starts,
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
right.
And the towing companies that we use don't have the equipment to move something this big. They're just,
heavy duty would have to come and do it.
I wonder what they charge to tow it.
I can ask.
Good news, Jordan, right?
It depends. So he said to tow it. Here's the case number in my business card.
Thank you.
To tow it, it'd be about $600. I asked him if they did provide the service of jump starting, to just drive out here and jump start it and see if it'll run. He said that'd be about a little over 100.
Well, I don't know what I'm supposed to say, you know?
Yeah, and that's the hard part, because, I mean, you know, and I guess I wish it wasn't like this, but unfortunately, because of the way, you know, it was brought here or whatever, I guess it's your responsibility to get it out. There are options later on, right? So when we arrest somebody for the theft of this, because you're the victim, you can try and get restitution.
Yeah.
There's also the option for civil suits and things like that. Obviously, you know, lock safe storage doesn't want it here. So
It's a $300 a month unit. I think they want to clear it out so they can get it rented.
Right.
Because they haven't been paid in who knows how long. That's how this all started.
Yeah, I think it was so that I think they start auctioning off the units at like 90 days, I think.
It varies from place to place, but yeah, we've done units, and it's about 90 days when the process starts. And,
Right.
and
How much
then
storage was?
Yeah, it's crazy that they just sell it and
Yeah.
kind of just whatever's in it,
Mhm.
you know.
All right.
Did you say you had a jumper box in your car?
I don't. We usually have them at the sheriff's office, but they're all not working or out in squad cars.
Uh-huh.
You know, with those being used.
I
So.
could have brought a charger out here and plugged it in right there.
Well, part of it. Part of the issue is that, you know, with the charger is who knows how long that's going to take. Who
Yeah.
knows if it's even going to run.
Right.
You know, he might have parked it here because it was, you know, he was having trouble with it or something. So he parked it in here, and then he just was like, well, I'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
You know.
Pottered it in the door. And
How to ruin my day.
Yeah. I'm sorry to do that, but you know,
No problem.
and unfortunately, there isn't much I can do.
No.
You know, I can make the necessary calls and things like that for you, but other than that, I mean,
All right. We're done talking. You got my number? You got my number?
yep.
I got your number?
Yeah.
I got your number. All right. Happens to be his birthday today. He's gonna call me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we can leave because we can't leave the thing unlocked.
yeah, though we'll need to secure it. Do you have a padlock with you by chance?
I mean, I don't usually carry a paddle.
Yeah, most people don't. I wonder if there's a hardware store around here I can hang out while you run and grab one. Do you know? I don't know the area that well.
I don't either.
I would assume the closest is probably Green Bay. I mean, you know, that's,
Yeah.
I mean, up here, there's really nothing, you know,
Yeah.
unless you keep going, it's Door County, but that's quite a ways off.
Well, I tried to be as stealthy as I could recording that, but the owner or the owner's father, the power of attorney, he doesn't want anything to do with it, and I feel bad for him because he's got to, you know, get it out of here. But my job and the officer's job are basically done. It sounds like he wants us to sell it for him, but I told him, you know, he's got to bring it to us. And he was quoted like $600 to have it towed to us. So I don't know what he's going to do. But that's basically all she wrote at this point. I will wait to edit and upload this video for a little bit yet. If we do end up selling it, oh, Cybertruck. Those things are so cool. They're weird. I wouldn't drive one, but it reminds me of like a DeLorean. anyways, if he does reach out to us in the next, week or so to sell it for him, then I'll add it to the end of this video. So it is the same day, and Storage Treasures refunded me. So I spent a grand total of $1,335.84. Storage Treasures refund was $244.55. And the storage facility is refunding me their portion as well, but they're sending a check, so it'll take a little bit. So the RV is almost here. He said it starts up, he drove it. It's very windy out, so I don't know if you're gonna hear. He parked it across the street at another business though. So this looks like an auction house, doesn't it? All right, so it's been a couple months now. This whole process is finally over. I'm sorry this whole video seems to be just talking head. I was hoping for more action shots, but there really isn't much. I did get a full refund on the storage unit and my rental cost because I did remember rent the unit for that month. So I've got a check here for $1,221 plus the refund from Storage Treasures that just went right back to my card. We sold the RV. It sold for $1,380 plus the buyer's fee. We get the buyer's fee, that was $207. We also got a $165 seller's fee that was deducted from that before we sent out the check. So we made a total of $372 on it. So $372, not a home run. Probably wasn't worth it for all the hassle, but it could have been so much worse. Obviously that's more than I paid for the unit, so I would have made a profit on the unit had I bought it, but I prefer this where I've got no money invested in it and make $372 selling it. So that's basically all she wrote. The new buyer, the person who bought it from us or through us, lives in another state and doesn't even plan on registering it. He's just going to park it on his land. So he drove out here with a buddy, and then they drove it to Minnesota to do whatever he's going to do with it. Runs and drives great. It does need a new battery. It needs to be jumped every single time you start it, but it runs and drives great otherwise. And according to the previous owner, his father, he said the tires on are all practically brand new. So kind of a shame if it's just going to get parked and sit somewhere. But anyways, that is all I've got for this video. I don't really know what else to add. The seller ended up getting $1,214, so it's a lot more than the $500 that the thief supposedly paid for it. Speaking of which, there is one more thing to add. So I didn't get this. We went outside a day or two before the auction was going to close, and there was a note taped to the door. And it was this note here from the person who allegedly stole it. It says, "To whom it may concern." And basically, I'm not going to read this whole note out for you. I'll show it on camera so you can pause and see it. But basically, he's saying he doesn't even mention the theft or anything like that. He said he couldn't keep up on his storage bills, and so that's why it was taken. And that is, I mean, maybe that's accurate, but nothing about it being stolen mentioned at all. So I'm covering up his phone number here so nobody calls him, but there's that. And I just looked on the state circuit court access. He has not been charged with the alleged theft yet. So anyways, that's about all the information I've got. This one was a wild one. It's not too often I end up with a stolen vehicle in my possession, but it was exciting. It was something different to break up the monotony, which makes things a little bit more fun. But I've been waiting for a while to release this video, but it's just such a long process, and I wanted to wait until all was said and done. So I got all my money back. I think I actually got a little bit extra from the storage facility. They were super great to deal with. It's a corporate facility too. Like, the company is based out of Arkansas, but they refunded me for the cost of the unit, for the fees that I paid to store it. And I think they gave me like an extra $40. They told me they were going to give me a little extra too. So that was pretty awesome. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.